Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. I am going to tell you a bit of truth right now that will shatter all the lies that we've been dealing with. So, the topic of today, guys, is who does Israel belong to? Who does the Holy Land of Israel belong to? The very easy and simple answer is it belongs to the children of Israel. The land of Israel belongs to the children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? The children of Israel are the descendants of Jacob, our forefather, Yaakov Avinu, the Jewish people, who stem and come directly from Jacob, our forefather, whose name was also Israel. In the Torah, Yaakov Avinu, Jacob's name was changed and added to Israel after he wrestled with the angel and prevailed. Now, this is the reason why Israel belongs to us, because Hashem gave it to us, and not for any other reason. And this is extremely important when we tell the world this, that we make it very crystal clear and we tell it like it is. We have no business talking about political things. It's a democracy, it's the only democracy, that's why it's our land. Guys, that has nothing to do with why it's our land. It's been our land forever. It's been our land since Hashem gave it to us, and it has nothing to do with democracy and the UN and the partition plan and the Oslo Accords and all these terrible things. Because at the end of the day, that is evil. We're not allowed to divide the land of Israel. We're not allowed to give the land of Israel away. It's evil to give up the Holy Land of Israel to the enemies of Israel. And we have no authority to do so. So, why does Israel belong to the Jewish people? Because Hashem gave it to the Jewish people for that reason alone. And the whole world belongs to Hashem. And He decides which land belongs to whom. And He decided to give the land of Israel to the Jewish people as an inheritance forever and ever. And when the world sees us speak very clearly like that, they're going to want to be on board. They're not going to have room to debate anything, because the second you go into it's a democracy, that's why it's a partition plan, the UN, the this, the that, you are all of a sudden trying to get on the level of the people who are debating Israel, and you're trying to find a political or a human reason as to why this is our land, which then puts you on the even playing field with anyone else, which is a lie. You're trying to justify something that is truth and infinite and God-given, and you're trying to justify it because the UN or because of political reason. That's doing incredible injustice to the truth and the magnitude of what we're dealing with right now is. It's a lie. It's not our land because the UN gave it to us. It's our land because Hashem gave it to us. It's always been and it always will be. It's nothing to do with politics. Now, yes, there's a government now and we see all these things. But that's something of its own. That's its own topic to be discussed. Whatever. But that's not why it's our land. And when the world sees us be so crystal clear about this, that we believe in the word of Hashem, that Hashem controls reality and we're following His orders, and whoever does so as well will be blessed by God. Whoever goes against that will be cursed by God. When the world, the nations of the world, the Goyim, the Gentiles, the righteous Gentiles, the holy non-Jewish people see this assertiveness in us, this dedication to our Creator and to follow His orders and not to be embarrassed to say it's our land because God gave it to us, when they see this confidence in us, they're going to do so as well. They're going to believe it with all their hearts as well, because they're going to see the truth. For the first time, they're going to see the truth given to them in such an honest way. And they're going to want to be a part of it. The second a Jew starts to try to describe why Israel is theirs because of some political reason, you're taking something so holy and so infinite and you're trying to fit it into an inappropriate lens and a finite lens and an inaccurate lens, and you're doing a terrible injustice to the truth of who this land belongs to. Now, the Rebbe said something very interesting. The Rebbe explains that why does the Torah start with the words Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es haaretz? When God created the heavens and earth, in the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth. The Torah is not a storybook. The Torah is not a history book. Yes, Hashem created the world. Yes, Hashem created all of reality. But why does the Torah start with that? The Torah means hora'ah. It means directives. God gives us directives and commandments in the Torah. The Torah is a book of laws and rules and directives and a guidance for our life. It's not a history book. So why does the Torah start with describing how Hashem created all of reality? My friends, the answer is quite simple. The answer, the Rebbe explains, which happens to be in the Parsha of the week of Shmini Atzeres, of Simchas Torah, the week of what happened on October 7th, many years before. The Rebbe, on that very weekly Parsha, the Rebbe explains something unbelievable. He says the reason why Hashem starts the Torah off like this is to let us know that when the nations of the world tell us that we took the lands from so on and so forth, we have to show them this verse that says God created the heavens and earth, and He decided to give the land to the Jewish people. He took it from whoever may have been claiming this land. He took the authority. He took the possession of this land. It belongs to God anyways, and He gave the inheritance to the Jewish people, to Moshe's, to Joshua and the Jewish people as they entered the land. And He made it clear to all of humanity. So when any nation, whoever it may be, in the Middle East, or whoever may claim that so on and so forth took this land, you have to show them this verse that says, the God created the world, and He decides which land belongs to Him, and He gave the land of Eretz Yisrael, the holy land of Israel, to the Jewish people forever and ever. The Rebbe said this on the Parsha of Shmini Atzeres, on the weekly portion that corresponds to the day of October, what was October 7th that year, which the Hebrew day was Shmini Atzeres or Simchas Torah, the holiday. The Rebbe says these words: the land of Israel was given by God to the Jewish people. So that's something shocking to take in our hearts. The same thing goes for when we're defending ourselves from our enemies. We do not owe anyone an explanation as to proportion or as to having mercy on our enemies. It is not our job to have mercy on our enemies. It is our job to have mercy on our people, our children, and defend them from the enemies. And if the enemies continue to fight, then they should be continued to be eliminated. And every enemy, every casualty is on the fault of the enemy who decided to start up with the children of Israel. And they keep having a chance to leave. Trump is telling them leave. All these countries take them in. And the world is not doing a thing about it. The world is actually just rather see them die fighting Israel than just let them leave, get out of the Holy Land of Israel, stop your terrorism, get out of here, let there be peace for once. Instead, the world's saying, no, leave them there to fight Israel, let them die fighting Israel, and let's pretend to be sad about it. That is the foolishness of the world. And we have to be a light to the world. And by doing this, by defending our people with no mercy, the enemy won't even want to start a war in the first place. There won't be any death on the enemy side because there won't be a war. Does that make sense? It's funny. The world tries to push Israel to be gentle with the enemies, which only perpetuates more and more war and more death on both sides. If we do it the way the Rebbe said clearly, your enemy has to know, and they have to see, that if they start anything at all, they will be finished as quick as possible. They will be hit as hard as can be, and there will be nothing left of them if they start, and then they won't want to start at all in the first place. There won't even be a war because they won't think it's worth it anyways. The problem now is the world is holding back Israel, and unfortunately Israel's government is allowing the world to hold them back. They're not doing what they need to do, and that creates hopefully that changes. I pray that this will change and God will cause them to do what the Rebbe wants. But what happens when Israel is holding back, it emboldens the enemies and it perpetuates war for longer and longer and longer. Whereas if Israel would just do what's right, have no care in the world what the world says, to not care at all what the world's saying, rather to care what God is saying, and to be very crystal clear to the enemies that a single enemy starts, they will be hit with all we've got. They won't start in the first place. Why do you think nobody's starting up with China? Why is nobody starting up with Russia? Because the enemies of the world, or the nations of the world, understand that it's not worth it for them to start up with Russia. It's not worth it for them to start up with China. It's not worth it for them to start up with Trump now, with his rhetoric, because they understand that the consequences will be insanely high, will be incredibly high. So Israel has to be a light to the world and follow what the Rebbe is saying to make it clear that our lives are infinite. The Jewish people's lives in the Holy Land of Israel are not tradable, and they're not proportional. Anyone starts, done deal, and then there won't be war at all. So guys, I hope this video clarified. May we merit the coming of Mashiach with peace on earth between all nations of the world. We'll serve God as one, and we'll have a revelation of God throughout the world. Share this message. God bless you all. Thank you.